What's up, world? Serge here, and this is day 7 of me recording myself going through the world's largest hackathon powered by Bolt. Um, it's been a while, and there's only a day and 22 hours left. So we are all hands on deck until the deadline. Life gets in the way, but it's not that this is the 7th day that I'm working on this. It's just I haven't been able to make too much progress that was worth talking about, and I wanted to do a quick video today to kind of get a status update, give a status update. So, what do we got going on? We are building a native app, and for that, we also have a marketing page that we're in the process of building. Shout out to Bolt for hooking it up this weekend with 20 million tokens. Thank you. So, yeah, the idea is, if you don't know, I'm building this native mobile app that is your personal chef, your smart kitchen, and hopefully your better life. A bunch of different things happening here. We vibe coded this in a couple of prompts. Not too much, but also not too little. If you have any tips, like I haven't really done too many marketing pages on these page builders. Give me your best prompt. Give me your best kind of things that make it look not as generic as other ones. I feel like it's getting to a good place. I'll update these with like the app screenshots, and we'll get there. But the thing that's more important on the app side of things is so this is the app. We've got it all hooked up. Like I was working on it in like these silos where I wanted to get certain functionalities working, but they weren't necessarily connected end to end. And now they are. So we have meal plans where you can create a draft meal plan, and then you can kind of like make sure that it's the one that you want, and then you can finalize it. Once it's finalized, you can see all the things that you will need for it. You can add that to the grocery list. And once you're ready to cook, you can start cooking. And we've seen this before. I just added this, like making sure that we have the ingredients, but you can actually just bypass this and go back to the 11 Labs voice assisted kind of cooking mode. Now, what else did I add? The actual generation part, I guess, is what I've been working on. So when you're generating, for now, again, I just wanted to make it simpler for people. I didn't want to make it too broad because there's going to be a lot of edge cases, and like when it's a 7-day meal plan, you probably don't want to cook all of it at the same time. There's a lot of things that will go into considerations for this, and obviously I'll be working on this after the hackathon is done, but I wanted to get like an MVP working. And you know what they say, if you're not embarrassed by your first version, you ship too late. So we're shipping in a couple days, and we'll see how it goes. But 3 days, it's gonna be muscle gain, high protein. Let's call balance. I am an advanced or beginner cook, and I want it to be vegetarian, and I want it to be Mexican, Japanese. Probably not what I would go for, but what this does is it sends off a request to my Supabase Edge function, and that first creates an actual draft kind of like meal plan parent. Gives it a name. So this one is called Zesty Fusion, a 3-day beginner, blah, blah, blah. And then I have another like individual meal plan generator, which gets like, do I want a breakfast, a lunch, or a dinner? And yeah, it generates a meal based on my nutrition goals. So like my calorie targets. It takes into account inventory that I have, but right now I don't have any inventory. So it won't like the prompt itself will say, hey, like if the inventory that's there doesn't make sense for this meal, don't use it, because that becomes crazy. But we created a meal plan. We can see veggie breakfast burrito bowls, veggie burrito bowls, veggie fajita bowls. There's a lot of bowls. I've had better results here. Again, This is just how it's going to go. Definitely a lot of room for improvement, but 1920 calories per day. I had a target set for 2,000. Again, probably not my target. Once it's finalized, you can see it here. Yeah, it actually, now that I think about it, it activates it as an active meal plan, which there should be another option for me to like be like, this meal plan is actually in progress. But yeah, if I wanted to add these things to a shopping list, it will create a grocery list for me for it. It'll try to categorize these things. And then once I'm done with them, oh, there's a little error. Okay. Speaking of errors, one thing that's really important, and this is something that I like to do on pretty much all of my projects. It doesn't matter if you're going to have hundreds of thousands of users or one. You really want to know when things go wrong in your application. And for that, Sentry exists. They've been doing this for a very long time. So I throw in Sentry into every single project. They have an SDK for React Native. So that is powering my app. I also have Sentry SDK running on all of my Supabase Edge functions, which are in a Dino environment. So there is an SDK for Dino. Make sure you have all of that set up. And what I wanted to show is this feedback widget that also Sentry has. So apart from being notified if something goes wrong, you can set up this widget with literally like 3 lines of code, and you will have this like bug reporting environment. You can also, they have an API, so if you want to customize this more, you can do that. And this is like something I've added because I've been inspired by what Presh is doing with his apps, and every one of them has like this message the founder button, which I think makes it a little bit more personal. So this will go straight to messages and text me. So yeah. And the last thing that I wanted to mention was for you to set up RevenueCat and for you to be able to, like, if you're using dynamic paywalls, there isn't any like unsuccess things that can happen. You would need to set up webhooks, and this is a similar, like, this is a pretty common workflow for any payment providers. Like Stripe has webhooks, Polar has webhooks. And again, because mine is a native app, I don't have a server that I can process those webhooks through. But I can set up an edge function in Supabase. And so as you can see, I have this like RevenueCat webhooks function that has been in the last hour. I haven't tested it, but let's look at the last 3 hours. I was testing it today. There we go. So that was a while ago. And again, the code is making sure that Sentry is set up in your Supabase edge functions. We have some spans that we're tracking, and we have this webhook handler. We're also logging the webhook event, so we have a table in Supabase to make sure that every single webhook gets stored. And yeah, based on which one, we update user subscription, and that makes sure that the user table that is required, like if I had purchased, I can't do that in an emulator because RevenueCat doesn't work, but like this should be reflective of the plan that I'm on, and canceling and all that kind of stuff. All of that is handled through webhooks. So make sure you have that set up. And yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. This is already 9:30. Thanks for watching. I will probably be making a video of my submission tomorrow. Peace.